Welcome everyone. It is the Division 6 podcast, calling the Audible. Of course, this is the 10th season we are doing Calling the Audible. So happy birthday to us. There's a cake being circulated. I actually hate cake. I don't know about you guys. I'm joined. By the way, I am Peas, the guy who hates cake. I can be joined on Twitter and most social media at PeasFPF. Of course, if you want to find me on Facebook, it is Peas Delariz. But I am joined by Mr. Bad News himself, Brent Bodkin. He is the Division 6 writer, columnist, player in Division 4. You cover FPF Junior. You're going to be on the FPF Junior podcast after this show. So lots of interesting stuff. Basically, there isn't a guy who knows more about FPF than the guy to my left. He can be followed at Bad News B51. How's it going, Brent?
Going good, my friend. Happy New Year.
Thanks, man. Same to you.
Thank you.
CFFN, of course. He's the newest member of the FPF media community. We had you on for the what are they called? The press conference. The press conference before the finals. Your team unfortunately did not win. It would have been your second championship. You took Smoke and Axholes. I will call them that all season because I hate pronouncing your team name. You guys are a bunch of Axholes.
Yeah, we're a bunch of
Straight up.
Yeah,
Straight up. He can be followed at the newest Twitter handle created, at Ball So Hard FPF. And you wonder if the ball is what you want to be hardest.
Most of the time, yeah. We don't like deflated balls, you know. We want to make it hard.
You're playing for Smoke and Axholes again. It's just Smoke and Axholes, right?
That's it. Just one team this year.
One team, that's fine. You're very true to your team, man. Both of you guys.
That's it.
I'm far more promiscuous with my FPF playing. I do play in Division 6. I play for One Speed Power, which is my strategy to golf, in case anyone wonders about the name. I play for Supply and Command in Division 5 and Darksiders in Division 3. I love Division 6. Every season I get the choice of which podcast to be on because of a lot of the extra work I do for FPF, and I choose Division 6. I find it to be the most interesting division because it's new faces, new teams, and dudes are hype when they play. You know what I mean? Like, it's like the guys jump up and down celebrating a first down. You see guys Division 2 catch a ball, like, yeah, when it's first down. You know what I mean? It's fun to see how much fun people have playing in this league.
You get all the war chants before the games, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before the games, even at halftime as well. It's good times.
Yeah, man, it's fun. It's
Well, I mean,
fun.
if they're players like me, they're just happy they caught the ball, and that's why I can't believe
I
it.
got it! First time! Seriously? I'm happy every time I don't throw an interception, which was not common in my Division 5 game this week. So, guys, let's talk about some of the action. We'll go into a little bit about what to expect out of Calling the Audible a little bit later, but we'll start with some action, get people engaged, break from the content a little bit, go back, because otherwise either style gets boring pretty fast. That said, a game that wasn't boring, Ravens took on Spanish Inquisition. They won the game 33-21. Marc-Antoine Vallée of the Ravens built this team to have Joel Hull play quarterback. He is playing for the Miguel Redmond, and due to the Miguel Redmond ban on FPF, boo. He's a guy who can play on their team this season. So we saw Gab Boye start at quarterback. He only completed 7 passes, but that said, 4 of them were touchdowns, no interceptions. Not very efficient, but enough to win the game.
Definitely enough to win the game, and I got to say, I was on the sideline at Brassard Saturday night watching that game. They got off to a pretty bad start, the Ravens, but pretty much the start that you wouldn't want to have. First snap was high, went for a fumble. I believe they lost about 12 yards on the first snap. Second snap of the game was an INT.
Yeah.
They got picked off right away, and it was just it was an ugly start for a team who we definitely expect big things out of. But they rebounded, as you mentioned, they got the W, but again, it was a bad start.
So he did have an interception?
Yeah, he
Because he has 0 on the stat sheet. So I blame Mo Khan, who obviously took the stats for this game.
It has to be most fun. No, he actually threw 3 interceptions.
Really?
Yeah.
It said 4-0 on his sheet.
Oh,
I mean, I won't report him to FPF, so he'll keep that. He'll keep that clean sheet. Do you think Gab Boye, Steph, is the answer for Ravens, given that they can't have Hull throw for the season?
I think he could be the answer. I mean, he wasn't efficient, but I think they have a lot of big players on that team. I mean, Marc-Antoine Vallée is an FPF veteran. He's played on a lot of good teams. A very shifty player. I've played against him myself personally.
Not fun.
Not fun. Very, very tough to cover. So I think as long as they can keep up that high-flying type of offense, you know, an all-or-nothing type of thing, I think they'll be successful. They may have some challenges with some more difficult defenses, but I think he could be the answer for them.
Charles-Olivier Touzel got some pressure on the quarterback and got a sack. But more than that, he didn't really let Spanish Inquisition Jared Buck get comfortable. how important is the rusher role to a defense in Division 6?
I mean, I think for any team, I mean, I don't think it matters what division you're in, but especially Division 6, where you have a division where it's such a big mix of different players, and I find, especially in that division, that some of the quarterbacks, they lack experience. Sometimes it's guys who play receiver or DB in a higher division who come down to play quarterback in D6, a little bit less pressure and kind of get their feet wet. So if you have an established rusher, someone that at least consistently provide pressure on a quarterback, it gives a lot of quarterbacks trouble.
That's fair. That's fair. On the other side, Spanish Inquisition did well for a team with a lot of rookies. We saw, however, a veteran, Justin Oquionero, lead the team with 8 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Justin's known as being a more defensive player. Will he be enough if the offense needs to roll through him this season?
I don't think so. I think they need to look and find some more playmakers if they want to do a deep run in the playoffs this year. I think they had a good game against the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens is a veteran team and has a very strong defense, and they put up some good numbers. I don't think that's going to be sustainable throughout the season.
Yeah, Justin seems to me like a slightly faster and far more charming Pease. Like he's slow and steady. He'll catch most balls, but he's not truly a dynamic player on offense. Where he is absolutely a sturdy player on defense and a guy you can in Division 6 especially build a defense around. Another game that caught my attention was Victoria's Secret getting up on Seti-Kipla 26-12. Seti-Kipla started quarterback Gabriel Berland-Lapointe, previously of Les Rois. He's thrown 32 touchdowns and 36 INTs in his 2 seasons at quarterback. Can they win with him at quarterback?
Honestly, I got to say I don't think so. I mean, they covered him obviously last year with Les Rois. I got to say Gabriel Berland, he has the greatest beard I think I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
In entire
There's got to be
FBS
some
history.
wildlife living in there.
Definitely. But unfortunately, his balls, it's when he tosses up those 50-50 balls.
His balls are not so hard.
That's exactly it. It's either going to be a pick or a touchdown. There's no in between. I find with him. But to answer your question, I mean, I don't think he's a nice guy. I've had a chance to talk to him a couple of times last season, but I just don't think he has what it takes as a quarterback, at least in this division, to guide a team to the promised land, if you will.
And Brent, you were there. Seti-Kipla kept it close at the half. It was 7-6. But what happened? Why did the game get out of hand in the second half? It was 19-6 was the scoring ratio in the second half.
I think Seti-Kipla just couldn't get any stops. I mean, that's what I think it came down to. I mean, you look at Dominic D'Onofrio. He went 16 of 22 for 131 yards and 4 TDs. A lot of that actually came in the second half. And Seti-Kipla, again, just weren't able to get any stops. They weren't able to provide consistent pressure as well on the quarterback position.
That's fair. Steph, you're a guy with glasses, so therefore you're a genius.
Right.
You've coached defenses. You've played on defense. You've been defensive captain on a lot of teams. What adjustments could a team make to have that kind of impact, where we see it being a close game and all of a sudden it completely turn around, you shut them down, and allow your offense to take over?
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to be able to make adjustments, right? You can't roll the same defense every play. If you're playing a 3-2 or 4-1, if you play the same strategy every play, a quarterback is going to eventually recognize the type of defenses you're playing and will put plays in place to start picking that apart and find the soft spots in the zone. So you got to mix it up. Throw in some 4-1, play some man, get the quarterback on his toes, get in his head, make him unconfident, and make him make the bad throws.
And I think personally that's what it's all about. Any division, keeping quarterbacks guessing, having them. You go a little bit of man, you go a 2-3 zone, a 3-2 zone, a 4-1, if you will. That's what it's all about. I think keeping quarterbacks guessing, keeping them, as you said, on their toes.
Yep.
Part of my swag, team familiar to the division, team that seems to have a new roster almost every season, but sticking around, still doing it. We see them win 26-14 over the money team, who were not quite money that week. PMS win. Jesse Racine is quarterback. In my opinion, he's the second best quarterback on the roster. Well, I mean, third if you include Brad Evans, who can't throw in the division. How long do you think it is, guys, before Avery Lala takes over at quarterback? I'll start with you, Brent, because you cover FPF Junior. You know how talented Avery Lala is.
Definitely, he can beat teams with his arm. He can definitely beat teams with his feet. I think it's only a matter of time. Again, he was an FPF Junior last year. This is his first year in the adult league. So I think giving him a couple of games under his belt just to get experience in the adult league in general.
Yeah.
Playing a little receiver.
Get an idea of the speed.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it. Give him a little bit of time. I think by mid-season, they should make the QB change.
Yeah. So looking at Avery Lala, I think one thing specifically is he'll be free of the play calling of Brad Evans. So I think be set up for success that way, and that he can call his own plays he feels confident in, and I think we'll see a lot of success for him that way if he eventually does take over at quarterback for Pardon My Swag. For Pardon My Swag, Michael Kazaka. And Brad Evans seems to always find these guys who aren't quite known. Is he the next great receiver in FPF? Steph, I'll ask you. He caught 5 passes for 88 yards and 3 touchdowns in his first game in the division. The first game in FPF, as far as I know. He did play in Division 5B as well, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great stat line. I mean, I think if he can keep that up and gets consistent play from the quarterback, I think he's definitely going to be in the running for wide receiver of the year. I mean, those are solid stats.
Absolutely. For the money team, we saw Marco Testa at quarterback. He threw for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown. Now, for those who've played in FPF for a while, you know Marco Testa's name because he was popular in the tackle community. When he started in FPF, was a dominant receiver for the team that is the St. Leonard Cougars, and I think at the time they were Crooklyn Dodgers and so on. A guy who's truly, truly a physical specimen. Are they better served with Marco at quarterback or finding another quarterback and having him play receiver?
I mean, I think right now, that might be the only option at quarterbacks. I mean, I think you got to stick with what you have right now. But if they can find an upgrade at quarterback, like I just mentioned before, with every last team, maybe putting him in at quarterback later in the season, I think the money team as well should look at that option if they can.
Fair. So we don't talk about our own teams a lot. But when we do, we will make it as awkward as possible for the co-host. So the Greendale Human Beings, the best name in FPF across the board. I hope this team goes 6 seasons in a movie. They took on Smoking Axles, as I will call you all season, and they won 13-7 in a defensive struggle. So let's make Steph as uncomfortable as possible. Steph, what's wrong with Jordan Rossi?
Well,
as a person and as a player?
Yeah, well, I mean, so first of all, I mean, I predicted our team was going to go 9-1 this year, so I wanted to make it easy on the guys, take the pressure off, lose the first game.
Lose the first game, right.
Just get it out of the way, But no, I mean, what's wrong with Jordan? I mean, he's got to throw the ball.
Cool. That's what most quarterbacks do need to do, correct?
He's got to have confidence in his wide receivers. He's holding onto the ball too long. Just got to let it go, give his receivers a chance to make a play on the ball, and we'll be successful that way.
How can you compete having lost Coco and Jason Rossi? And at the same time, Chap, if you can get me whether or not Coco Beware is still alive, I'd like to know that. So, how can you? So you've lost Jason Kokolakis, Coco. You've lost Jason Rossi and Will Power, who went to a much better team. How are you going to compete with all that lost offense?
I think we picked up a lot of good players. We've restocked the roster. I think we could be stronger than we were last year. I know, we lost in the finals. I think you can make the argument.
Political,
you can make the argument to say that we're the real people's champion. I think we still have some surprises up our sleeves. And
who's the worst player in your team?
Well, I can't catch, so it's got to be me.
Man, you're the best captain. I would be throwing guys under the bus, left, right, and center, non-stop. Who's the person you like least on the team?
Who do I least on the team? Got to go with Jordan, man. The guy's got to throw the ball.
I know. I would imagine. Let's discuss Greendale. When you see and Steph, you talked for a while, so I'll let Brendan is eager to get in there and trash on you guys too. But I'll let you talk about the winning team, Greendale. What do you see?
Well, to be honest, I see a team who is pretty much a rookie team. They got the big upset week 1. I mean, you got to like the fact that they came in there. They beat a team that many of us thought. No offense, but many of us thought, I think I picked you guys to go 10-0, I think, in the regular season. So, I mean, they came in, they shut you guys down offensively. I mean, yeah, you mentioned that Jordan needs to throw the ball a bit more, but I mean, 7 points is 7 points, right?
Yep.
So defensively, at least week 1, I mean, you don't want to put too much stock into week 1, obviously, whether it's the NFL, FPF, CIS.
But is it that the Greendale defense is that good, or is it all on Rossi not throwing the ball?
And that's the question. That's what it's getting to. I mean, it could be a bit from column A, a bit from column B, but the fact is, week 1, they held you guys to 1 touchdown, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, don't disagree there. I mean, we made it to the red zone 4 times, came away with 7 points. You're not going to win any games there. Are they as good as that? I don't think so. I think they'll be a strong team, but I think there are going to be stronger teams out there that are going to go further.
So the question everyone wants the answer to, Chapman, have you done the research? Is Coco Beware still alive? How old is he? How's he doing?
57, still alive, but his wife died.
Oh, that's sad, man. Poor Coco Beware. I would imagine the parrot didn't make it that far. I don't know. Parrots live a
I was
long
just about to
time,
ask
right?
that. Just about
So
to
the-
ask.
at least he still got the parrot. One would hope. One would hope.
Frankie or Freddie the Parrot, something like that.
I don't remember. You're far more well versed in WWE superstars. So this section we're going to discuss the most offensive and most defensive. I misunderstood the category completely. So for most offensive this week, I'm going to go with a Dairy Queen was shut down in Illinois after police said its owner, Jim Crichton, proudly admitted to using a racial slur against a customer last week. So that's definitely the most offensive this week. The most offensive is Dolphins fans, and I'm one of them. Guys, stop making excuses. The Dolphins lost to a better team with a better quarterback on their own. Relax. Be happy with what you got. That said, the true meaning of this segment is to discuss the best offensive performances and best defensive performances. Brent, you're an offensive player. Steph, you're a defensive player. So let's discuss. We'll start with offense because it's more important and everyone likes it better. Brent, tell us about the 3 best offensive performances this week.
Well, actually, speaking to your point just before, I was going to say it's kind of convenient that Mo Khan just left the building. We
Okay.
talked about Connor Cook in the first half against the Texans with 4 completions for him. Getting on to bigger and better things in the Raiders' offense last Saturday. I got to say, Cameron Wilson of Broke Boys came in, first FPF game ever. He went.
I have some
13
knowledge on Broke Boys, though. They're
Okay.
all like tackle football players
Yeah,
with a lot of experience.
Definitely,
So
okay,
still, it's an
okay.
adjustment for FPF, but I expect them to be good. Go ahead.
Okay, no, here, yeah, it's definitely an adjustment. I made the adjustment myself. It took a little time as well, but again, 13 of 26 for 208 yards, 5 TDs. So far, he's led Div 6 in passing and touchdown passes as well. I think it's pretty impressive, leading his team to a 32-26 victory over Sons of Mitches. I got to say, that's my choice for Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, I don't disagree. That's a great stat line for a first game. I never put up a game like that in my 2 years as quarterback.
Steph, defense. We want your opinion on defense. Let's go. 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2. I'm going with.
It's a first week. It's
yeah,
sloppy. Let's go with it.
I'm going with Gabe Wiseman. I know he's known more as an offensive player, but picked up the pick 6, helped lead his team.
He's
to
an
the win.
underrated defender.
Agreed. But the pick 6 helped lead his team to the win this week, and so I'm going with him.
Fair enough. I like that one.
Brent, back to you. Offense.
I gotta say, I want to give it to maybe a team. You mentioned a few minutes ago, the NWO tied the Warriors. 32-32.
Well, we haven't discussed it on air yet, but
Oh, yeah, sorry.
NWO did tie today, 32-32. We get the live update from Rehan Sarwar. Go ahead.
I apologize. I was gonna actually just pick that game as a whole, just in terms of a shootout. Both teams coming out week 1 and pressing on offense. I don't know. I gotta say maybe. I'm going to go back to the game we were talking about before, the Spanish Inquisition, when they took on the Ravens. I want to say Jared Buck.
Jared Buck?
Yeah, the quarterback of the Spanish Inquisition. He had a big game. I believe it was 3 TD passes, if I'm not mistaken. Let me
Yep,
just double
3
check.
TD
Yeah,
passes.
3 TD passes against a pretty experienced Ravens defense. I got to tip my hat to him. I mean, they came out on the short end of the game in that one, but he still came out. He balled out. He had a pretty good second half as well with some TD passes.
All right. Steph, anyone stick out for you on defense?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Chad Buck from Spanish Inquisition. I don't know if he's a brother to Jared Buck, but
Brother, cousin,
Who knows?
unrelated, Eskimo brother perhaps.
3 picks, 1 pass defended. Those are pretty strong stats. I think that's what kept his team in the game. I know they didn't win the game against the Ravens, but I think those 3 picks definitely made that score a lot closer than it could have been.
Yeah. So as we go a little bit further, we'll take a break. We'll talk a little bit about what people can expect from calling the audible. We are a group of guys who do know a decent amount about the league. That said, it's flag football. Let's have fun. It's gonna be a pretty loose format. At the same time, if you guys, as players, if you have any input, please feel free to let us know what you think. We're gonna be on the sidelines all season. We're very available on social media, especially now that Steph has a Twitter handle. But as well, you can find us on Facebook for sure if that's more comfortable for you. Whatever you like, find us. Come see us. Let us know what you want from us, and we'll do our best to oblige. Because after all, we're here to give you guys a show. And speaking of here, we are in Sportira Cage, where we expect it to be the final resting place of Nicolas Cage. I'm joined, of course, as I said, with Brett Bodkin, Steph Fens, and Chapman at Master Control, who I forgot about earlier in the show. Thank you, by the way, for all the input you've given so far.
I don't matter.
Well, yes, I mean, that's also accurate. And of course, if you want to follow Chapman, you can follow him at the buffet closest to you. So, guys, let's get into. We talked a little bit about the games that happened today. We did say NWO tied the Warriors 32-32. And, of course, there was one other game. I'm getting the updates. It was a 28-14 win by Channel 4 News team over Farmers. So as the podcast is happening during the week, we'll do our best as we're doing the podcast to give you the live updates. Thanks again, Rayhan Sarwar of FPF, for giving us the feedback as it happens. Chapman, do you have any chapronyms for us? The following segment, of course, is where Chapman will present us with an acronym. We will then take our best guesses at what we think the acronyms are. Then he will choose which one is the best one, and therefore it becomes what the acronym means.
All right.
Chapernym?
You guys ready?
Absolutely.
AKI.
Brent?
Wow.
You're thinking too much, man.
No idea. Wow.
It's not supposed to be easy,
Steph.
man.
I'm gonna go with anabolic killing infernos.
I was also going killing. I was going always killing
There
instantaneously.
you go.
And Brent Botkin
I
is
have no
disqualified
idea.
for this
I have no
week.
idea.
Be better next week. Chapman?
I only get 2 choices?
You only get 2 choices this week.
I'm going to go with the anabolic ones. Just because.
Why not?
Cool. You like the word, I guess.
Yeah.
Or perhaps you're interested in someone named Anabolic.
Yes.
All right. So that brings us to...
Our games of the week.
Say it again with more gusto.
Oh, man, I wasn't prepared. Okay. Games of the
There we
week.
go. There we go. Games of the week. We don't do spreads because they're stupid. We will instead pick winners. This is a whole segment based on things that don't happen. I always found predictions in sports to be stupid because it's like as if you're predicting in a war in the Gaza Strip what you think would happen in a coming week, like who would lose more people, where more people would die. You don't see this in any other avenues of media, but let's do it in sports. Go ahead, Chapman. Force us to pick games.
So, from week 1, Wednesday's only game will be Goofy Goobers versus One Speed Power.
I will recluse myself from this conversation.
Is it recluse or recuse?
Chapman, look up which word I meant.
I'm pretty sure it's recuse. I'm not looking it up.
I'm gonna go with One Speed Power. I'm gonna go with your team on that one. I mean, I think you guys have the firepower. With willpower.
Firepower.
Exactly. Firepower with
Well said.
willpower as well to get the W in that one.
I'm gonna go with the opposite, man. I'm going with Goofy Goobers, and I'm going for the exact opposite reason. I think the fish is your new prized possession, and I think you're gonna target him, and he's gonna drop a ton of balls, and you guys are gonna come up short.
All right.
Cette équipe-là versus Farmers.
I'm going to go with Cette Équipe-là. Rough start to the season. That said, Farmers, they also lost their first game. I'm going to err on the side of experience.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go with that one as well. I mean, if you look at the Farmers, I think they have one player who's played FBF before. Cette Équipe-là, despite their quarterback issues that we mentioned earlier, I think they get the W.
Steph.
I agree too. I mean, Farmers, they grew up on a field, man. They gotta be good at football. So.
Blitz Babes. Oh, no, sorry.
Stop stealing my segment.
Sorry, it's your segment.
Blitz Babes versus Stick and Movers.
I'm going to go Stick and Movers because I think it would be an awesome name for a bar.
I'm going to go with Stick and Movers because I used to be a huge basketball fan. I'm still a New York Knicks fan, and that's not really working out that well for
No, me neither. Don't worry
This year.
about it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So Stick and Movers, that's who I'm going with.
All right, I'm gonna contradict you again. I'm go Blitz Babes.
All right, I like it.
I
like
think
it.
Matthew Gottlieb's gonna have a strong game, and that's gonna be the difference.
DGC versus Broke Boys.
This is going to be ugly. I played against DGC in the Midnight Madness tournament. It was basically us who were a borderline, probably Div 3 team if we played in FBF versus a team that's brand new. I expect a roughly the same kind of outing. Broke Boys will beat up on DGC.
I'm going to go with the Bro Boys. I had a chance actually to meet Corey Werner from DGC, and he's a huge trash talker. I'll give him
Nice,
that.
I like that.
yeah, talking a lot of trash before the season started about how he and his team would do. And so far, not so good. So, yeah, I think Bro Boys run away with that one. It might be over by halftime.
Ravens versus Pardon My Swag.
Wait, we didn't get Steph's pick. He's here, though, right? Like
I'm still here.
you see him.
Curses.
I'm right next to you.
Oh, we said thered be issues week
So
1.
DGC Broke Boys.
Yeah, it's not even gonna be close. Broke Boys are gonna win by a landslide.
Next
Ravens
game,
versus Pardon My Swag.
Marc-Antoine Vallée, 3 touchdowns this game, and this is the game that's going to bump Avery Lala into quarterback for week 3. I'm creating quarterback controversy. I love it.
I think you know what. Part of my swag has, I believe, is Alex Torres is the rusher. He has a little bit of experience.
He's
obviously.
tall, too.
Yeah, but that's exactly it. I think he's gonna give. He's gonna give them problems. You know what? I'm gonna go with just a minor upset and pick part of my swag over the Ravens.
I'm going to Ravens. They have too much firepower for part of my swag to stop.
Bruins versus Greendale Human Beings.
GHB. I'm gonna always pick the Greendale Human Beings. Alex Joltapov is too good for this division, and this team is an offshoot of 2.5 Dans, known for their defense. We're gonna see that in this team all season long. They're gonna shut down the Bruins this week.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think the Bruins are going to get that W either. As you mentioned, 2.5 Dan's experience on the Greendale Human Beings. And again, they're just coming off of a big victory in week 1. So I think it's another victory coming up in week 2.
Yeah, I agree. I played against the Bruins last season, and I don't think they have enough to pull it off.
The Spanish Inquisition versus Goon Squad.
Spanish Inquisition because it was terrifying. It was a terrifying historical event.
Yeah, I got to go with Spanish Inquisition. The Buck brothers were really impressive in week 1. Again, they came out on the short end of the stick against the Ravens, but I think week 2, they get their act together, come out with the W.
I'm going Goon Squads. I think they're a veteran team, and I think they're going to pull out the win.
Super Troopers versus Smokin' Axles.
The Super Troopers will beat the Axles, and Gab Wiseman's going to have a huge game passing the ball.
Steph, it's not just because you're sitting next to me. I'm still going to go with you guys.
Well, just because you try to look smart because you picked
well,
them to be
10-0. That's besides the point. Yeah, honestly, that's my reason. I'm going to pick you guys to get the W in that one. I think, yeah, you lost some veterans, obviously, this offseason, but you still have a veteran team led by yourself. Right. I think you guys will do what it takes to get the W.
I'm not going to disagree with you there. We're going to win. We're the best team in FPF Div 6. So.
Oh, you heard it right here first.
Lost Avocados versus Mogadishu Pirates.
I'm going to go with the Mogadishu Pirates because Pirates are awesome, and I don't really like avocados.
Yeah, I got to say, former teammate of mine, Josh Vasquez, went 7-23 for 69 yards, doing his best Connor Cook first half of the Raiders and Texans game's impression. So, yeah, I think the Pirates are getting the W definitely in that one.
Yeah, Pirates all the way.
FBG versus Sons of Mitches.
Despite the awesome name, I'm going to go with FBG. Not a team we know a lot about yet. That said, one big catch for Nicholas Katsoulakis last week. I expect him to have a bigger role in the offense this week.
You know what? Just for argument's sake, I'm going to go with Sons of Mitches in that one. I mean, they lost week 1, but they didn't look that bad. Yeah, you know what? I'm just going to go with Sons of Mitches.
Victoria's Secret versus Warriors.
It's going to be an angry Warriors team having tied NWO 32-32. I see the Warriors putting a beating on Victoria's Secret.
You know what? I'm tempted to say the Warriors in that one. I mean, again, they're coming off of a tie. But I got to say, I was impressed by Dominic D'Onofrio in week 1. He had a pretty big performance leading his team to the victory. Obviously, he's set to keep laws, not on the same caliber of team as the Warriors. But you know what? I want to go with the upset here and give Victoria's Secret the win.
I think Warriors are the better team there. They have a lot of offense there. They just tied NWO 32-32, which is another very strong team. So I think Warriors are going to actually blow them out.
Channel 4 News Team versus Rolling Rock.
I always want to go with Channel 4 News Team, but unfortunately I'm going to go with Rolling Rock this week. It's a very tolerable beverage, and Norman Belmer, Storm and Norm, is one of the better quarterbacks in the division. I expect him to be in the running for quarterback of the year, and for that reason, they will win this game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rolling Rock as well. The Belmer connection from a wax on, wax off team. So have a couple of veterans left from that squad. I think they have enough to get the W.
Yeah, I think Rolling Rock as well, mainly just because it's my favorite beer, so I can't go wrong there.
And in our last game, the Baker Boys versus the Money Team.
Marco Testa hasn't shown me he can play quarterback yet, so I will go with the Baker Boys.
Yeah, kind of on the fence in that one here, but you know what? I'm going to go with the Baker Boys, I guess. Offensively, they looked a bit more impressive than the Money Team. So, you know what? Yeah, we'll go with them this week.
Plus, Baker Street's a sweet song. So.
Yeah, I think I have the Money Team, man. I think Marco Tesla's going to turn it around and put up a very strong game there.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see about that. Final thoughts, Brent?
Let's say this is my first time on the podcast.
I apologize entirely.
No, it's going to be an interesting season. I hope you guys at home enjoyed this. It's going to get better as the season goes along, and let's do this.
Steph, final thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's been a good season. Happy to be here. Don't know how I got here, but somehow you roped me in, and hope everybody at home is enjoying the show and looking to have some fun.
You have a Colombian wife. I have a Colombian girlfriend. We have a lot of familiar ground in the things that scare us the most. So therefore, that's what got you on the show. In my going for one, going for two, I'm going to go for two this week because there are two important new rules in FPF and important rules for Division 6 teams to learn. We now have a last man back rule, which is if you are the last man back and you decide to take out a guy who's obviously going to score a touchdown, that's it. The touchdown will be awarded. It's a safety rule. It's been too long that this rule didn't exist in FPF and has existed in other leagues. Happy to see the rules committee put that one in. And a rule that I find kind of weirdly pointless is the 7-yard red zone. The idea was to limit contact in the red zone. That said, you can still have the ball on the 3-yard line. You can still have the ball on the 1-yard line. I still see pick plays being there. I still see contact happening in the red zone. So I don't think it's going to change a lot, but we'll see how it goes as we move forward. Brett Bodkin, Steph Fens, Chapman to Master Control, Rob Campana, who just walked in and gave me several dirty looks. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for listening and watching. And this will make a lot more sense when we have the rights to play the song next week. But I want to thank you all for letting me be myself.